Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a recipe, well, more like an entire dinner. We're talking main course, sides, and wine. Everything you need for a great Valentine's Day dinner for two. We're only spending like $10. Alright, if you're new here, hi, I'm Claire. Welcome to my channel. I love a good deal, especially when it comes to cooking, so if you're interested in that type of content, be sure to subscribe. So this time of year, Valentine's Day, can be a very pricey time of year, and whether you are buying groceries or going out to eat, prices are up everywhere. So I thought it would be a great time to share with you some food you can make at home for Valentine's Day that will be romantic, great tasting. We've got great sides. We've got, oh my gosh, great cheap wine. So all of this is going to only run you a little over $10 for this meal for two. And honestly, when you go to a restaurant on Valentine's Day, I remember with my husband spending at least $100 after everything, the drinks and, the tip and all of that. It can get out of control really, really fast. So if you are trying to save some money this year, but you still want to make it special, keep watching. All right, our main dish is going to be stuffed chicken breasts in a cream spinach sauce. So we've got some chicken breasts, some butter. I have some mozzarella cheese slices. I have some pre-shredded Parmesan cheese. I also have some garlic, salt and pepper. I also have some heavy cream, as well as spinach, chicken broth, a little bit of flour, and an oil of your choice. I have selected olive oil. I will be leaving this ingredient list down below so that you can make this easy yourself if you want to. All right, starting out here, we have our mozzarella cheese. This is a great deal at Aldi, $1.79 for this whole pack. We are only using 4 slices, which comes out to 64 cents. Throw the rest in your fridge, make sandwiches with it this week. It's really a versatile ingredient to have laying around. Now I'm going to butterfly my chicken breasts, which is of course just slicing them in half. I have 2 chicken breasts here. They were $1.99 a pound at Aldi. Great deal. I got 1.75 pounds. That was for the 2. So I paid $3.49. Once they are butterflied, I'm just going to open them up and put 2 slices of my mozzarella in each one. Mozzarella is a great cheese for stuffing things because while it melts, it holds its shape quite well. It won't get super liquidy and run out of the chicken, which can happen with other types of cheeses. Before I close it on up, I'm going to just lightly season it with some fresh pepper and a little bit of salt. Now I'm going to sandwich them on up, and I'm going to go ahead and throw some salt and pepper on the tops of them as well. Now I'm going to heat up a cast iron pan. This recipe works best if you have a pan that can go from the stove to the oven. You don't have to. It'll still work if you don't have that. However, I think it's the best way. So I've selected cast iron, and I'm using a couple tablespoons of olive oil, but you can use whatever cooking oil you have on hand. You don't need to go out and spend a bunch of money on specific oil for this recipe. And now I'm actually just going to brown both sides of my chicken breast. It's going to be about 3 minutes on each side. And that's just because we want them to be crispy and golden on the outside, and this is the best way to do that. Once I have them flipped, I'm also going to take this opportunity to season that underside as well with just a little bit of salt and pepper again. Now I'm going to pop them into a 425-degree oven for only 20 minutes. This is a really fast recipe as well, which I think is also helpful. And while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and make our side dish. We're having this long grain wild rice. This is $1.79, and while we aren't going to eat the whole thing, I am going to make the whole thing because it has its own sauce packet and everything, or seasoning packet. and it would be very difficult to just make a partial box of this. So we're going to go ahead and add $1.79 to our total, and this is such an easy and pretty side dish. It has all the seasonings right in it. It's always a winner. I also have this great baguette. This was $1.69 for the whole thing, and we're only going to use half of it, so store that other half away. Make a sandwich with it this week. Maybe use some of your extra mozzarella and have it for lunch tomorrow. But yeah, you definitely don't need a whole baguette for 2 people. And this is Aldi's Take and Bake baguette, so 85 cents worth of bread, and right about when the chicken is ready to come out, I'm going to just toss that in. When we have 10 minutes left on the clock, we're going to start our sauce. We have 1 tablespoon of butter. Butter at Aldi is $2.89 a pound, or 9 whopping cents per tablespoon. And I am just going to melt that in my pan. Next, I'm going to throw a little bit of garlic in there. Aldi sells garlic, 3 heads of garlic for $1.69. And we are only going to use 1 clove of 1 head, and yes, I whipped my calculator out to find out how much that costs, and it's only 7 cents. 7 cents worth of garlic. I actually think garlic is a great deal. It usually stays good for like a really long time, and it's a really cheap way to make all of your food taste better. And I'm just going to use my garlic press right into the pan, and I'm going to stir that around and cook it for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, just until everything in your kitchen starts to smell beautiful and garlicky. Now I've got my flour here. Now, guys, Aldi, it's really cheap. 5 pounds of flour for $1.49, which means that our 1 little tablespoon of flour came out to less than 1 penny. So definitely, if you don't keep any flour in your cupboard, you should always have some on hand. I feel like most people do, but Aldi is a great way to just get some to have around. It's so cheap. And I'm going to cook this flour for about a minute once it's all in there and not lumpy. Now we are going to add our broth. Normally I would get the Aldi brand, however, they only had Swanson today, so I had to pay 74 cents for this can. I am only going to use 1/4 cup, or 9 cents worth of broth. And this is going to take me about a minute to really work in. I want to make sure that there's no big lumps or chunks. We definitely don't want a lumpy sauce. And once that is all combined and nice and smooth, we're going to add our heavy cream. I've never seen this brand at Aldi before. This is not the normal brand, but I went with it. And it was $1.99 for the pint. And we are using 1/2 cup, or 50 cents worth of cream. I have bumped my heat down to low. I do want this to thicken, but I don't want it to evaporate so much that it gets like super, super thick. And also a good way to use the rest of that cream, if you're planning any type of Valentine's dessert, you can whip that up into some fresh whipped cream, and that definitely is impressive as well. Once this is nice and combined, I'm going to add just more pepper and salt, keeping it real simple here. I am adding one more little spice, and that is some cayenne pepper. This is definitely optional. However, I know my Valentine definitely appreciates a little bit of cayenne in a sauce like this, so I just put a little dash. So if you like it a little bit spicy, throw some of that in there too. Once that's combined, it is time to add our spinach. Spinach is super affordable at Aldi. This is for 7 cups in that bag for $1.09. We're only using 1 cup, so 16 cents worth of spinach. It's a great deal. And it adds some nice color, and yeah, anything with spinach I'm totally down for. And I'm just going to stir this in for like a minute just to wilt it. Now we've got our Parmesan cheese. This is only $1.99, and we're putting about 1/2 ounce of cheese in, or 2 tablespoons, which comes out to 20 cents worth of Parmesan. Also, like the garlic, an easy way for a little, like a small amount of an item that adds a lot of flavor. Parmesan is the best. Now our chicken is done. You'll see I threw my baguette in there.
And now we're gonna kind of do a little swap here. So I'm gonna take the chicken out of my cast iron and set it aside. And now I'm just going to go through the bottom of the pan and pick up any like large chunks of either chicken or crunchy cheese or anything and just remove the big chunks. Because I really want to use all this great chicken juice and chicken fat to make our sauce extra amazing. Remember, this is a holiday. It only comes around once a year. So, you know, make it delicious. Make it fatty. It's fine. I'm actually going to pour all of our white sauce in there and just mix it up with all of that great juice. And oh my gosh, this just adds the most delicious savory flavor to your sauce, and it will just make it absolutely top-notch, restaurant quality. And now I'm gonna throw my chicken back in. I do have that burner still on low just to keep everything nice and hot, and I'm just gonna throw some of the sauce on top of the chicken, let it kind of soak in there a little bit. And oh my gosh, my kitchen smelled so good. My husband was working in the basement and he was like, "What are you doing up there? It smells so good." I couldn't believe it. It went through the whole house. It smelled so good. And perfect timing because now our rice is done. I found this darling little like casserole dish at Target in the dollar spot. Good luck finding one because I guess they're kind of a hot item this year. But I grabbed one and it was the perfect thing to throw the rice in because obviously it's on theme, but then I can put the lid on and it will stay warm until we are ready to eat. And our baguette is now nice and crisp, and I'm just going to cut that up and plate it as well. I find a little diagonal, makes it look just a little bit more fancy. And, of course, what you've all been waiting for is this great wine. This is Aldi's Winking Owl brand. Leave me a comment down below if you're down with the Winking Owl. This is a California White Zinfandel. And I chose it because a white is always, better with chicken. But it has this great color that really matched the vibe of what we were going for today. That whole bottle is $2.95. And let me tell you, my husband couldn't believe his eyes when he came upstairs for lunch, and this is what I had for him. I know this is a dinner, but, that's how it goes.
We're good.
It's real good. Restaurant quality.
All right, you guys, here is my $10.83 meal. My Valentine approves, so I hope yours does too. Leave me a comment down below. Are you going to be trying this? What are you doing for Valentine's Day? I'm totally interested, so let me know. And of course, come on back for more of this type of content. And remember, you can totally make a special night without having to spend a ton of money. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!